If House Bill 3979 simply took critical race theory off the table for educators, it wouldn't have presented a big problem. The bill didn't stop there, though. Nope. It took aim at teachers and what they could and couldn't say about current events in the classroom.
I'll call this meeting of the Waco ISD Board of Trustees to order.
Listen to how the Waco Independent School District handled its debate when the bill's latest version dared impact the schools.
Okay, there has been a bill, House Bill 3979, that has drawn a lot of attention from parents and community members. That bill could restrict how teachers can discuss current events and limit our ability to require training for employees on racism.
How can you dismantle institutional racism if talking about race and racism is optional?
Many felt the bill tied teachers' hands a little too much, and that some would forego the discussions completely.
A teacher may not be compelled to discuss a particular current event. If they do, that they must include, quote, contending perspectives. We fear that some teachers might feel it is necessary to avoid discussions entirely. People can simply opt out of confronting these difficult topics. And while that might be more comfortable for people who look like me, it won't do anything to advance the work of dismantling racism that we've committed to as a district.
Experts agree. To understand the debate on race, you have to participate in the debate on race. Waco school leaders decided to put their opposition to the bill in writing in a resolution.
Dismantling institutional racism requires having candid, sometimes difficult conversations, and then it expresses opposition to House Bill 3979. It seems as if the legislature, in rushing to score political points, has failed to really think through what this looks like for a classroom teacher.
Not one school district in Central Texas teaches critical race theory, but that doesn't mean there's no discussion about race in the classroom. A few years ago, the Killeen Independent School District developed its own African American Studies program. It became the first in the region to offer the course, which other districts now offer.
We have some teachers who are decided not to have that discussion and some that are. What will be our response? Because our position is to dismantle racism.
There is certainly some incoherence within the language of the legislation itself.
You not talk about racism or address racism and talk about the civil rights movement. How do you talk about Dr. King?
I think that underscores the lack of clarity to this legislation.
A teacher could be teaching about the civil rights movement and have a discussion about the Klan, the Ku Klux Klan, and they have to give their students reason why they were justified.
I don't know that we want to ask our teachers essentially to play devil's advocate for some viewpoints that they may find morally abhorrent.
Are parents notified that that discussion is going to be happening so they can do follow-up with them?
But there are very few mandates that we would have to seek permission from parents on topics.
I'm just not ready to assign nefarious intent to their actions. I mean, I think it's poorly worded.
Sometimes in social media or in cable news to present everything as having two sides and being a heated debate. I'm not sure that everything really does have two sides that have equal weight.
So Waco trustees came out against the critical race bill, mostly for its burden on teachers. A fascinating move on a bill few had given any thought to.
This won't go anywhere.
Dennis Turner, 25 News.